Hey guys, Coach Mike here, and I just entered my first Jiu-Jitsu tournament. If you don't know who I am, I'm a life coach. I'm on Dr. Phil. I write books, and I've been in mental health for over 19 years. And I've been doing Jiu-Jitsu for almost a year, and I thought, why not? Why not enter a tournament? All my teammates at the gym seem to be entering tournaments. Not all of them, but it looks like a good time, a good way to push myself. And a little bit about me, I'm 41 years old. I started doing Jiu-Jitsu when I was 40. I trained with Charles and Alliance in Los Angeles. I'm a white belt. I'm in the ultra heavyweight, which is over 225 pounds. And this was my first tournament and my first challenge. I had no idea what to expect. I was out there watching YouTube videos, trying to figure out what to prepare for. So maybe this video will help you if you're looking to do a jiu-jitsu tournament. I can tell you that I prepared for this tournament. I think preparation is key with anything we do. So I worked with my coaches to kind of figure out what are my strong moves that I should go for. And this tournament was at Cal State Fullerton. All I knew is that there was over 2,300 people that entered, and it was outdoors. And I didn't have a lot more information than that. And so I didn't know what to expect. And I'm a big guy. So, you know, I'm 6'5", 270 pounds. I'm walking around. There's all these guys who do jiu-jitsu. I don't know anyone there, but for whatever reason, I have to keep going to the bathroom. I must have gone to the bathroom 10 times before my first match. I didn't even know I drank that much liquid, but I guess I had nerves, but I didn't know at the time what was going on. Tony, who does video with me, and he's a part of my podcast, were there. And then Caesar, who's a coach of mine over at Alliance in Los Angeles with Cobrina. I didn't know how many people were in my division, but I come to find out there's only 5. You know, so there's 5 guys in our division, which basically means that there's either going to be 2 or 3 fights. And I didn't realize too that you don't wear a rash guard, so I made sure I didn't have a rash guard on. We go in the bullpen. I meet the other 4 guys who are in our division. The fights began right on time, and I didn't realize that with a tournament of 5 people, all the fights are done in like an hour. This tournament was 5-minute rounds, and the winner, it was either if you submitted someone or points. So I had a bye in the first round. So a bye means that you don't have to fight that first round. This was my first tournament, but all the other guys had entered tournaments before. So I've never walked onto a map before like this. So I'm like, okay, let me say hello. How are you? Okay, here's the guy that I'm basically gonna fight. And so, you know, I'm pulling back and forth, trying to kind of, I don't know, see where I want to go with this. And then I decide to pull guard right here. And then once he's in my guard, I just want to make sure that like I kind of bring him all the way down, kick out his leg, move out his leg real quick. And I go for a cross choke, and I'm just not thinking I'm going to get anything. And he taps. The guy taps. I'm shocked because I can never get a tap like that in practice. And maybe because certain gyms, they teach you defenses. And maybe at his gym, guys aren't doing cross chokes all the time. At Charles' gym, Alliance Los Angeles, they'll get you on a cross choke like that, you know, and you can't get out of it. So I'm walking over. I had a brief second where I was like, wow, did I just do that? I'm a ninja. And I was really stoked because I didn't exhaust myself. And I felt like I honestly got really lucky. I think the guy had a match before mine. He was tired. He didn't know how to defend a cross choke. He didn't expect me to go for it. But I got it. And then what he did is he started talking to the other guys about what move I did on him, because obviously I was going to fight one of them in the finals. So already beating him, I was in the finals. One thing I can tell you too is when you check in, they check your fingernails and your toenails and your gi. So I guess they check them to make sure that you're not going to cut anyone. I'm now going to be in the finals, and I'm talking to my coach, Caesar, which it was so helpful having a coach because the coach brings a sense of balance, at least for me. So I would recommend having someone like a teammate, especially as a white belt, coach you, because as you'll see in this next fight, I was in a position that I'm not used to being in. So now we're going to start off with my second fight, which is the finals. And Caesar had told me that this guy had a pretty good pass because he kind of dominated his prior match. And Caesar's super chill. And that's why I was saying it was so helpful having like a coach there who understands jiu-jitsu. Because just listening to like a friend going, come on, that reminds me of my mom when I played basketball. So I'm walking out now. I'm fighting this guy. He's about the same size as me. I don't really know what to expect with him because I kind of was zoning out even during this fight, which I probably should have watched a little more carefully. So I'm grabbing him. Okay, where am I going with this? All right, let me pull guard. Let me go for the same move I went on the other guy. But he wasn't giving it to me, so I'm going for the cross choke, and he defended really well. So I thought, okay, let me go for a scissor sweep. I go for the scissor sweep. I almost have it. Normally I have this in practice, but I lost it a little bit. But I scored 2 points, I guess because I swept him. I don't know why right here I'm so like intense. Like I'm just like grabbing him. The truth is I should have my left hand down and be reaching with my right because my left foot's forward. But somehow my instincts are taking over, which I don't think are good instincts. Okay, and Caesar's yelling out, you're ahead, you have 2 points. So here we go again. We're pushing, pulling. I should have like broke his arm grip. So he gets me in his guard. He actually does a really good, he pulls me into his guard. I'm like, I'm in his guard. And the truth is I'm not used to going against big guys and being in their guard. And right before this moment, I hit him in the head. Our heads collided. And so I don't even know where our heads collided. I've looked back at this tape and I can't figure it out. All of a sudden he's like bleeding and I'm kind of confused. And he's like, it's like a real cut. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm apologizing. I'm like, sorry, dude. I didn't mean to headbutt you. And, you know, I hope you're okay. And he's smiling at me and says, you're really strong. I didn't know really what to say to him. I wasn't going to let him get in my head with being my bestie. But I'm in his guard. I'm having a hard time kind of breaking it. The referee now stops because he's like, this guy's head is gushing blood. I got a little bit of it on my gi, which you know how it is. Like if you do jiu-jitsu, someone's always bleeding, it seems. And I felt like the guy was legit because he had like tape on his toes and like, I don't know, the guys who do jiu-jitsu a lot at the gym, like it literally looks like they have like a claw hand. They have like tape wrapped around every single finger on their hand. And so the lady comes out. I guess she puts like Vaseline on. This dude's bleeding. I had so much adrenaline. Part of me is like, is he going to still fight? I don't know why I had this thought. And during this period of time, it felt like forever. Looking back, it only took like a few minutes, but it felt like 30 minutes to me. I don't know why. Okay, so here we are. Can't really see the cut. This guy still wants to fight. And I'm like, oh, he's probably angry now. And he goes over to his corner and he's talking to the guy that I had cross-choked. Caesar keeps yelling at me to breathe. So all of a sudden I'm just breathing. So I'm in his guard now. He has long legs, and you know, I'm trying to grab, you know, I'm trying to grab anything really. I guess his sleeve I'm trying to grab to kind of cross over so I can put a foot up, and I finally get his sleeve. I step up. He brings me back off balance. I'm trying to keep my elbows really tight so I don't get caught in something, and he tries to sweep me there. I'm like, no, you don't. And Caesar keeps yelling at me, you're up, you have 2 points. And I'm like, okay, cool, but that doesn't feel safe enough for me. So eventually, like right here, he says to me again, you're really strong. I don't even know what to say to him when he says that, but he's a really nice guy. So I'm up 2 points. I don't know if this guy's going to do some, you know, magical trick on me, and I'm trying to get his sleeve again, but he's pretty strong. And eventually I'm just like, fuck it. I'm just going to stand up. I'm sick of being in his guard. I'm not going to spend, another few minutes just being there. So I'm going to stand, but I don't do this that much in practice. And, the guy's probably 250 pounds. So I pick him up, and I should have broke his arm on my collar. I don't know why I didn't. Instead, I kept hearing everyone say, put your elbow down, put your elbow down. So then I got him to drop, and now I was like, all right, cool. Let me get in a leg. Let me try to get in a pass position because I don't want to end up in this guy's guard again. I get in kind of, I go for a leg weave pass. And then I'm, getting a bit of a collar grip and trying to put a lot of pressure on him. I know I can be pretty heavy in some of these positions, so I'm trying to put my head underneath his head because a lot of the guys have taught me that. And so now I'm in his half guard, and I kind of go for his arm because his arm's up there. I don't kind of go for I guess it would be an Americana, or is it a Kimura? One of those. He defends it. He tries to sweep me. I'm like, no, you don't. I came this far. I don't want to give it up. There it is. I go for the arm right here. And then I figure, let me get his, let me try to get his body flattened out. I know I'm a heavy guy. And I go right here for a choke with my sleeve. He defends it, but he turns his body enough so I can, slide in. And now at this point, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna get to this next position. Caesar's yelling at me that I'm ahead, but I'm like, no, I want to pass. And when I've gone to Brazil, the guys in Sao Paulo have taught me, a choke from mount, and I'm really wanting to do that. So I start to go for it, and I know I can put a lot of weight down to go for a cross choke from mount. I'm going for it, and time is up. Time is up, and I scored 9 points, and it was 9-0. He was a really cool guy. We talked afterwards. At this point, right there I go, they call me Mikino. They call me Mikino. Because you might as well add a little bit of drama. So I yell that out. I won my first tournament, and it was a lot of fun. And this guy was holding his own with me. If he would have swept me, I could have ended up in a bad position. Jiu-jitsu is such a cool sport because you could literally end up in positions that you're not used to ending up in practice, and it forces you to learn and adapt. And he and I talk afterwards. I apologize again for hurting his head. So I felt really good. It was exciting. I didn't know what happens next, but you go to a podium. And so I got gold in my first jiu-jitsu tournament, and I'm glad I did it. Even if I lost, my whole intention was to have fun. And some takeaways that I would recommend that I've mentioned, if this is your first time doing a jiu-jitsu tournament, is have a coach, be coachable because they really balance us out, and make sure you drink a ton of water and breathe and prepare and have some sort of a game plan so that if you end up in a position that you're really comfortable with, you don't go for something that you can't. I'm not that comfortable with doing arm bars. So it's like, why go try to do arm bars even when the arm's there as a white belt? Because the odds are I'm not going to pull it off because I'm not that good at it. So I stuck to what I know and was grateful for the opportunity. And if you have any questions, if you're looking to enter a white belt tournament, my Instagram's Coach Mike Bear. Happy to answer any questions you have. You can just message me. And thanks for watching, and make sure you click to subscribe. I have other videos that pop up here on my YouTube channel, and keep it magical.